I welcome you all in the discussion of Regional Directorship with our founder and CEO, Mr. Shishir Gupta. Myself, Sanjana Kapoor, HR Assistant at StartupLanes. So let me give you a brief introduction about our company, StartupLanes. StartupLanes was founded in 2015 and is an ecosystem for startups and investors operating in 56 cities and 15 cities and is divided in 10 core divisions. Our founder and CEO, Mr. Shishir Gupta, is a well-known investment banker for startups with a global ranking of 5 out of 5 and is among the top 20 consultants for venture capital. Mr. Shishir Gupta is a lawyer, investment banker, full-stack developer, and a startup consultant. So, Shishir sir, over to you now. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Namaskar. My name is Shishir. I'm the founder and CEO of StartupLanes. And this discussion is to inform you about the regional director profile, as well as I'll take your questions. We can have a question and answer session. Before we start, let me tell you the problem, why this regional director is required and what do we do. StartupLanes is a complete ecosystem for startups. We have only one vision, that is to generate employment in our country. That is why we enable the startups, and with the vision of generating 1 million jobs, we are enabling SMEs and startups through three core functions, or you can call it support: funding, branding, and sales. So we can help them in terms of funding, or they need some kind of branding to promote, and we provide them everyday sales. Now, because this entire ecosystem works digitally, not because of the pandemic, but even before that, we were scaling digitally. And now after the pandemic, everything is digital. So what happens is, most of the time, people have this issue of trust. Until and unless you meet somebody local, it's very difficult to trust, right? So if an entrepreneur from Chennai or somebody from London, UK wants to get an app developed from Chandigarh, then this entire system is very, very risky. If you just trust somebody on the website ad or just a Facebook ad, then it might turn up to some kind of scam. Now, we have solved this problem through our franchisee network. We call them regional directors. So somebody who is in Chennai can contact our regional director Chennai, who is a trustworthy person, who is local, who understands the language. And this Chennai RD can connect directly to somebody in the maybe Delhi or Mumbai or other locations through the regional directors, and then get this work done. Right? So local meets local in both the areas, and we have lot of services which ensure that we do not, we protect the investors, we protect the entrepreneurs in this process. We have a process called, in fact, a service called managed escrow as a service. So we keep the money reserved. If the buyer is connecting with the seller, we do this transaction entirely through StartupLanes. That means billing will be ours, contract and legal, everything will be ours. And we keep the money in the escrow. We do not release the funds to the seller till the buyer says, I'm satisfied. So this is a very big game changer. As well as for raising funds, we have created a lot of models which are very, very successful. I will be taking all those things in detail, but definitely it's the time to take your questions, and then I can take more questions, or maybe I'll be updating you about other things if the time is left out, right? So you can please utilize the hand raise option so that we don't have any chaos and we can take every question properly, and then I'll be happy to answer. There is a hand raise option, or in case you don't find it, you can straight away ask. That is also okay.
Okay, sir. So first question is from Mr. Chaitanya. Sir, please come forward and ask your question. Thank you so much.
Yes, good evening. My question is, what is the requirement to be a regional director? So, what will be the roles and responsibilities? What will be the requirement for this position?
The most important requirement is understanding the ecosystem and having a trustworthy, or maybe just your education makes you trustworthy. So basic educational requirements and communication requirements, that's it. Does not matter which location you are, because we are there in most of the locations in India, even abroad. So no specific requirements, but yes, you need to have the passion and the vision should be aligned. In case there are several ways, millions of ways to make money, but if you align with the vision of supporting the nations through the entrepreneurship, because what happens is, I'll tell you the core problem of our country at this moment. You might have seen the entire LinkedIn, Facebook filled up with people looking for job after the pandemic, and the reason is because entrepreneurship is not very much developed in India as of now. The 95% of the jobs are generated by unorganized and SME sector, right? So this is, big companies only generate, or if you take the entire organized private job sector, it is 25 lakh jobs only. I was reading this somewhere, right? So yeah, if you include government and this private sector organized one, 75 lakhs jobs, not more than that. What happens to the rest of the people? So these are employed by smaller firms, the kirana shops, the small travel agents. We want to empower them so that they generate jobs, they innovate, and they also get the benefit of funding. They can scale up. We are giving them cutting edge technologies. We are giving them different kind of methods, ways to promote themselves and go ahead. Right. So no specific particular requirement of being a regional director.
And this would be a full-time position, or
no? This is not a full-time one. This is a part-time one. You can't give it full-time because we are not asking anyone to make it daily bread and butter. But yes, there are several opportunities to earn a lot of money. But we are not recommending anyone to make it daily bread and butter, because this will scale up slowly and gradually, right? This system works through direct and indirect references. So a lot of funds will be coming. We have created a commercial document that we have shared in the WhatsApp group. We can again share it with you. And a lot of other things are mentioned at the StartupLanes website in the application form itself. But I will never recommend anybody to go for full time as of now, because this ecosystem is taking shape. India has a lot of opportunities, but still we cannot say that anybody should take it full time at this particular moment, because I don't know how much is your need. Suppose you need 2.5 lakhs a month, and if 60,000 monthly comes up, then you will be having shortfall. But entirely, if after 2-3 months, if you are finding it really really good, then you are most welcome to join full time. It depends entirely upon you, but not right now.
And what is the process for applying?
Process is very simple. There is an application form at our website. When you fill out the application form, our team takes up, and they must have added into the WhatsApp group, right? And this is the discussion that is happening. Finally, people who are interested, they will express interest to our team again, and we just have to verify the credentials, that means LinkedIn profile and all, and that's about it. If that goes well, then we can accept you as a regional director. And a lot of other things are there, like a few regional directors who want to scale up with us using our CRM, leads from us. We are happy to provide those also.
And my last question is, whether any training would be provided for the person coming on?
Yes. So a lot of sessions have been planned out so that we can have one-to-one trainings. We can have support system. In fact, we also have regional directors along already who are existing. We have community managers who can help you out, and this entire system is planned and organized.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much for.
Pleasure.
Okay, so next we have Sneha Mahajan. Ma'am, please come forward and ask your question. Thank you so much.
Hey, hi, thank you for the opportunity. So sure, I have two questions. So one is like I am being, I'm a completely full-time employed with a MNC, right? And yes, I was looking for this opportunity, which looks interesting. So is there any barrier to or the contract crossover that would happen? Because that would be the last thing we would like to see, being fully employed with company, and then such kind of implications coming into picture a little later.
No, absolutely not, because this is a franchisee position, but it is individual, and our contract does not conflict with any of the employment contract. People who want to disclose, they can disclose. Who don't want to disclose, they can keep it confidential. If you want to write down something on your title, you can use the title of mentor. If you want to write down regional director, that is up to you. There is no challenge from our side on this, right? All we want you from your side is, if you are taking the title of mentor or regional director or whatever title is suitable to you, the profile remains the same. We need your time. We need at least one video a week recorded, so that this can help. It could be motivational or something, knowledge sharing. It's most importantly, people should know who are you.
All right, that answers. Thank you. And a continuation to that, right? As I said, right, I won't be comfortable putting it LinkedIn, right? So is there any ask from StartupLanes that putting your articles, sharing it through LinkedIn and everything to be done? Being a risk for the job and all that stuff. So that
not at all, absolutely not. But yes, as a mentor, there is no challenge. I'm a lawyer. We have an entire law firm, right? And if you want, you can check with your organization also. There is absolutely no issues, and whatever income that will be generated, we can give it as a consultancy fee to you, or whatever way you want, or you want this to be transferred to somebody else, that is okay. All we need is your support in terms of supporting this entire ecosystem. There are three major areas where we need the help. One is the entrepreneur side, another is the investor side, third is the knowledge side, which is our functional expert. I will be explaining all these going further after I solve all these queries.
All right, I think I'm good with this.
Thank you.
Shishir Rai Shravan here. So I saw the website and already found another gentleman on the regional director for the city that I am interested in. So what do you do in such cases?
Because I can see your background, you're from BNI. Unlike BNI, we have non-exclusive cities, and everything is online right now. Offline, we were having a model, but we have modified that, and there is no particular cap limit on a particular zone. It's not at all exclusive, because most of our business comes from the metro cities. Unlike other organizations, we are not very much active or happening in tier 3 cities, but tier 2 cities we are getting good business, because it's developing. Most of the business comes from the metro cities, Mumbai, Delhi, or if you talk about abroad. So there is no cap limit. Every regional director can take business from anywhere, and the work is also different. If you draw a comparison, BNI does not allow you to take any commissions on referring business, but we have the commission structure, right? So referring a business, and I will be explaining that also, referring a business is highly rewarding here. Referring investors is highly rewarding. Referring founders is highly rewarding.
Yeah, so I have a question on that as well. I will come to that. But so does that mean you will have more than one RD for every city? Is that what you mean?
Exactly, yes.
So there's no cap on how many RDs you will have?
No, there's no cap on RDs as of now, but yes, we are taking a cap limit for metro cities, maximum 50. But yes, unlike this,
50 RDs for a metro city. Is that what you said?
correct, right? You can think of, the chapter director in VNI is equivalent to RD here.
Okay. And so I saw the illustration about RD earnings calculations that you shared. What's the basis for this? I found it a little, not very realistic. So what kind of data do you have to justify that kind of earnings that you're showing?
Okay. Suppose, suppose I give you leads of, say, 10 RDs who are interested in becoming a regional director, right? Because here regional directors can also appoint RDs, okay? Or if I give you leads of chapter directors, if you are able to convert, say, 5, or if I give you, say, 50, and if you are able to just help an assistant convert 5, so we are calculating only 5 a month, right? 25,000 multiplied by 5, whatever revenue comes, there is a commercial structure. According to that, you will be getting. Now, there are some calculations which are 6 lakhs or 5 lakh, I'll tell you. Those are on the basis of app development. Generally, a mobile app is expensive. So, minimum cost for a mobile app, Android or iOS, will be 2 lakh rupees at least. So, if we get an app development business, automatically StartupLanes has a 10% markup. And you have a cut on that markup fee that we charge from the client for managed escrow as a service. Any specific, calculation you want to point out or anything you want to ask specifically, I can definitely answer.
Yeah, sure. So at every item level, I think I have a question. But anyway, since you already said you're open to taking up to 50 RDs, so this becomes all the more unrealistic because I've been a professional networker for over 20 years now, been part of many professional bodies, and this kind of volumes I've never seen, although I've myself been a star performer in most of this and played leadership roles.
It's kind of very different. And unlike BNI, we don't have one category. BNI does not raise. Majority of our income comes from raising funds, right? So when we raise funds, it is huge actually. So those cuts, even the smaller cuts, are bigger there. Secondly, most important point is we are giving you CRM and leads also. So that's very difficult. I know the pressure in other organizations which are referral organizations. You need to bring in people. There's a social pressure, but here there's no pressure. In fact, we are doing a lot of marketing promotions and leads are shared with our RDs because they are better than our team, right? They have more experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, yeah.
What I would recommend you is you try, with few of the leads from our CRM, try that. And you can also see the traction that we are doing. In fact, if I explain you entire StartupLanes, it's huge, it's mammoth, it's big. I will be explaining. Let me take all the other questions and then I will explain you each and everything, what StartupLanes is doing, how we are doing it, and why we are the #1 fastest growing company in the world. We recently ranked #1. I will be telling you that also. Right. Let us finish all the questions and then I'll come to that.
Okay, so next we have Mr. Shashank Harish. Sir, please come forward and ask your question.
Hello, Shishir. Very good evening. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much.
Acha, Shishir, I have a couple of questions. Number one, I belong to a tier 2 city, which is Jaipur. So how many regional directors are you, planning to have in Jaipur city? And second thing, what is the difference between this number of available positions like chapter director, regional directors, and mentor, or maybe some other positions which you have?
Right. See, regional director is the city head, right? But region could be city, could be in terms of like a city like Jaipur, there could be 10 or 15 regions, right? In one region, there could be 5 or 6 smaller ecosystems which are present.
Sorry to interrupt, Shishir, sorry to interrupt. So when you are saying that you would like to have 10-15 regional directors, so how much traction you are planning to have in each regional director in terms of numbers? In numbers, so when I'm saying in terms of number, how many startups would they be serving, or in terms of generating investment for those startups? How much would that be?
No, it's not only, I'll tell you, see, investment is one part of it. What we flourish on is day-to-day business that comes to us. This entire concept is based upon sellers are smaller, but they are bigger consumers. We manufacture one or two services or products, but we are consumer. From top to bottom, from comb to your shoes, you are consuming hundreds of items, right? So this is based upon the concept source from the community. Why? Because if they source from the community, we are going to give them benefits. The most important benefit is they will not be cheated. We are providing them opportunity to source many vendors and reduce their cost. That is the most important part of it. So, if one person will be needing application development, app developer will be needing lawyer will be needing chartered accountant will be, and we do not have an exclusive system. So anybody who's a performer can take business from all across the world, wherever we are present, from anywhere, right? And we are working on outreach system. Our system is as an ecosystem. We interact with other ecosystem, the smaller ecosystem like colleges. We interact with incubation centers. We interact and connect with co-working spaces. We connect with the government, under the startup policy. We connect with the MSME departments, so that we can help a lot of people. And I'll tell you what is the hook of everything. Our hook is the funding part. No other organization, no business network is competing with us on this part, right? So we are the only organization in the world that has two angel networks, SL Angels and NRI Angels. No other organization has two angel networks. In fact, running an angel network itself is a big thing, right? Besides that, we have our own investment banking arm, right? We raise funds through VCs also, and now we have built the pipeline of IPO, right?
So would that include only an equity part, or would that include debt part also, raising funds from the government schemes like CGT, MSME, or maybe something else?
Yes, so everything is there. In fact, we have co-investors. Once we raise, suppose Trifecta Capital is there. If we are raising capital from a VC, Trifecta matches that. We have co-investor called Haim Securities, very old organization. They were into stock market. They don't want to be the first investor. So we have a contract with them. If we are investing 1 crore in a startup, they can match that 1 crore investment, right? We are tied up with other angel networks as well. So they can co-invest along with us. Lot of possibilities are there. And I'll tell you why we are different and why people are taking more interest. Because of this funding part, everybody wants to become an investor. Post the story of Zomato, everybody got to know that Sanjeev Bikhchandani sir invested 4.7 crores. His investment became 15,000 crore, right? And that is not just one story. There are several other stories of successful exits. That is why everybody, and specifically people who have been investing into the stock market, they want to invest into angel startups, but they don't know how to do it. We assist them, and because somebody is investing, there is a biggest risk of having scams and getting cheated, right? So because if there is a local person, we can arrange that, they can trust. And obviously we are not asking any of our RDs to just blindly have faith. First experience, have faith only after you experience it, right? If you find out, thank God we don't have any kind of online complaint, because we are not running any kind of such activity which can convert or could be considered as scam or spam, right? We are very, very serious and cautious about such things. So in those cases, what happens is, any such thing happens, we just stop it there itself. Anybody looks out, for any multi-level options or something like that, we have not created such options. Our objective is not to pay from the fees. We don't want to become a Ponzi scheme or something. But yes, our entire focus is on three things: funding, branding, and sales. Sales activities happen every day. Funding itself would be sometime, twice or thrice in a year maximum. But sales will happen every day. So we provide sales leads also to the founders, which is nowhere available. We provide sales lead from our side. So that's what I was telling you about. Let me explain you the system, right? What happens is, We, on one side, if you go to StartupLanes website, you will find out vendor sourcing section, so we motivate a lot of entrepreneurs to source through us. We tell them, if you source through us, we will keep your money safe in the escrow. We will ensure that all the contracts are done. We will ensure that the taxes, GST, everything is paid. And we will also ensure that you are not being cheated, right? We will ensure that your money goes into the right hand. Now, this, when they feel motivated, and this is an assisted system. Why we call it managed escrow? Because there is a human element. It is not just an application. There is a particular human who collects all the responses. So you don't have to, it's not like Just Dial, wherein you will be just getting hundreds of calls. If you put something on Just Dial, you will get hundreds of calls. You cannot manage it yourself, right? What happens is, suppose you need a website developer or app developer, you tell us, you fill up a simple form, our system automatically functions through a human. We float this requirement to everybody in the ecosystem and tell them, if you are interested, you can connect with the client. But these people only get the contact details when they are gold members. So that pulls the membership to us, right? This is a freemium model. When they see, okay, oh, there is a lead for me, I can do this particular work, then they can become gold members. They don't have to become gold members and then take the leads, right? So this becomes a very good system. I'm not talking about other networks. I've been a part of some business networks. There they show all greenery there, no? They clap for people. They show that, oh, they have generated business of 5 crore, 10 crore. But actually what I've seen is, one property, if you sell a 5 crore, they also calculate as a 5 crore business, right? Mm-hmm. So that correct. We don't calculate like that. We calculate on the actual basis, and we don't take such kind of deals. Property dealing and all is out of our system. More of, we are tech people, so we focus upon technology-based services as a primary factor. But yes, there is no capping on that. We still have members who are manufacturing industrial shoes. We have people who are having, large time AC rental services. But yes, we don't take security guard companies or local AC repairing shops. We don't take them because they are not scalable. So our criteria of joining as a founder is innovative startup which is scalable, that has a high market size and should be fundable in the near future. Because until and unless any startup is not ready to take funds or they are not looking to have funding, we cannot have bigger ticket size of revenue generated through them. Because after funding, we want to do VC funding, and then thereafter we want to become their partner for the IPO. We have already done the partnerships. We have 5 existing partnerships for taking a company to the IPO level. Right. So that's about it.
Great. Thank you so much. It was really insightful. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Sir, next we have Mr. Milind Joshi. Sir, please come forward and ask your question.
Oh, good evening, Shishir and everyone. This is Milind from Pune, and thank you for the opportunity to ask question. I got a lot of insights till now, listening to the answers and questions. So a couple of questions are already answered. So thank you for that. And I just wanted to understand that couple of things, like with respect to trainings and events, if there are any other events, will that be on top of how that investment for those events and trainings will be taken care of? And I have already filled up the form, and I'm part of a WhatsApp group also. So what is the next process? What are the next steps?
I will try to explain you the entire gamut of these positions. Regional Director, Chapter Director, Functional Expert. These 3 are the 3 important entities in our system, right? 4th is the Community Manager, who is the salaried employee of StartupLanes, right? Mm-hmm. They are there to the support system. These 3 are independent entrepreneurs, franchisees of StartupLanes. Regional Director appoints Chapter Directors. These Chapter Directors just work like your team, junior of your team, and there is a sharing of 80-20. Right? Okay. So whatever business they do, 80% they get out of it, whatever was meant for you directly. If you are doing it through a Chapter Director, 80% goes to them, 20% to you, right? Then Functional Expert, which is the EdTech arm, educational technology arm of StartupLanes. Functional Expert runs different kind of courses. These are the corporate courses, right? Suppose there is a course created by somebody for Excel sheet, right? This course could have training to corporate employees directly, right? So 40% of whatever is collected through this training goes to the course generator, that means the functional expert. 40% of this is kept for regional director, chapter director and other expenses. 20% goes to StartupLanes. This is the ideal structure, right? In case StartupLanes is organizing everything, StartupLanes keeps the majority of stake. Regional director will organize this, and this could be offline, online, both. I'll tell you from where these corporate training demand will come. We have a separate division called CXO. We have CXO conclave department, which interacts with CXOs of top 1,000 companies in India, right? These could be CTO, CMO, CFO, all big ones, right? And how do we approach them? Let me disclose this secret with you. We first of all approach them to take their support for the ecosystem through an interview, a video interview for our media arm, right? SL Media approaches them and invites them for a video interview so that, we can promote their interview, though they get benefit, and on that side, their organization also gets benefit, and they get an opportunity to interact in a live session with the founders. So they get new ideas. So they come to our platform, and this way we create a relationship, and then we invite them to a CXO conclave wherein all the CXOs are there, only big company CXO. We create a closed door events free of cost, all for them. This way we generate relationships with big companies, and they generate corporate training demand and other big ticket size demand. Because see, if you want to become big, if you want to get a bigger business, there is only one way, that is Janta ka money, public money, right? Big ticket funds, big ticket demand only comes from public, and that goes to the government, big contracts, whether it is technology, road or any infrastructure or anything, big contract goes to the government, and government gives these contracts generally to the corporate sector, right? Adanis, Ambanis. And because we startups cannot take this directly from the government, we have to depend upon Adanis and Ambanis and TCS and Reliance or whichever company it is. And if we have the good relationship, if they know that this startup can do this, right, then we get this business and give it to 5 or 6 startups, right? I'll give you an example. Suppose, and this is a real example, there was, I'm not naming the company, one of the automobile manufacturer required 1 lakh pieces of brake shoe manufactured in a span of 1 month, right? And this demand was not getting fulfilled by one vendor. So what we did is we created a consortium of 4 or 5 SMEs. They together fulfilled this demand, right? So alone they might have lost the order, and they need an entity because they cannot depend upon each other. One competitor will not take billing from the other competitor, right? So that is why StartupLanes comes into the picture. We can bid on their behalf. We can even do the bidding. We can do the profile management. We can take the business. We have everything, bank account, all the contracts, everything in our name, and we can pay them. Obviously, there is a cut which we take. If it is a big order, we might not take 10%. We may take 2 or 3%, right? But still, that is huge. And whatever is coming to us through regional director, there is a cut. There is a cut, or through the chapter director. So everything could be done. So this functional expert, this is one wherein we can run regular trainings, right? And we can still make money. Second is chapter directors. Chapter directors are like more of front-end people, leading people. They go to all the ecosystems like co-working space or government incubation center and represent us. StartupLanes has some in-house functions also, like chartered accountancy services, legal services. We have our own firms so that we don't have to depend upon anybody whenever a demand is created. Suppose you go to Bangalore and you get a co-working space and they allow you to do a little presentation for legal and chartered accountancy, taxes and legal. And if the demand comes up from there, then we don't have to depend upon our gold members for this. We can also deliver in case of urgency, but generally our team is always 100% utilized. So we try to give it priority to our gold members, right? This way gold members also get business. And when we give business to anyone, especially to the gold member, we ask them, we are giving you business, but we expect business from you. We expect you to source from the ecosystem. That is how everybody grows, right? So when they get more business, when they get funding, their sourcing will also increase, right? somebody who's earning 1 crore and having 20% profit margin means spending 80 lakh rupees. 80% they are spending, right? So if the salaries are 30%, still they are spending 50 lakh rupees on procuring products and services. So why not we take this demand? We try to take this demand into StartupLanes ecosystem and give it to other gold members so that they also benefit. And then these gold members, when they get business, they give it to other gold members. And this system has to be motivated. This will not happen automatically. There has to be humans like regional directors and our community managers who will be promoting. And one more thing, very important, I would like to tell you, our community, that means our salary team, does not have any such structure wherein they will be incentivized bypassing a gold member or a regional director or a chapter director. They don't have this kind of structure. They only have incentives on whatever comes in the company through them. They get incentives. So whether it is regional director or it is coming directly or it is coming through a chapter director, does not matter. They get the same amount. So they will never ever bypass. It is easier for them to give it to the regional director so that their load is reduced. They give it to the regional director routed through them. That's okay, right? They don't get anything extra for bypassing. We have created from day one, we created this structure so that no regional director or nobody in the franchisee structure is bypassed. Whatever lead comes to us, we want to give the first priority to the people who are our franchisees, because it is in our own favor. Local person going there, having more better relationship, automatically converts into better business, right? Instead of a community manager doing it over the phone.
One last question: where can I find existing RDs list?
In the about us. In the about us, right? So these RDs are the RDs who have joined us when we used to have an exclusive system. One RD for one city pre-pandemic. Post-pandemic, after the pandemic, we have changed everything because we are going totally digital now, and we never know how much time this pandemic will continue. So that is why, and people were asking us, why should we be limited to one particular zone? Now anybody can take business from anywhere. In case there is a conflict, one client is approached by two RDs, then we have a system wherein we need to sit together, discuss and share the incentives. That's it. There should be absolutely no fight. And
Thank
I think
very
this is good for the country.
Thanks.
Pleasure. Yeah. So,
sir, next we have Mr. Hemal Patel. Sir, please come forward and ask your question. Thank you so much.
Good evening, Shishir. This is Hemal. I'm from a tier 2 or 3 city. It's Vadodara in Gujarat. I have one question, that if I join as an RD and later few months down the line, myself wanted to do my own startup, I have an idea. So, is there a feasibility?
Obviously, why not? Right. So, like I told you, our vision is very, very simple. And this StartupLanes started after, I was hearing the speech of Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, when he said, एक entrepreneur 5 job create करेगा तो देश आगे बढ़ेगा. That hit me. I left my real estate business. My last project was IDI Mart, which is now London Mart in Noida Extension, 750 crore project. I left it out. Nobody leaves real estate. I exited real estate just because of my country, right? You may or may not believe it, but I'm very happy. I'm really very happy. I'm not making that much money, but still I'm really very happy. I'm contented. I'm satisfied because I know one day StartupLanes will become the leader in India at least, and then in the world, because nobody has ever thought about creating a complete ecosystem of business, right? So I'm really, really happy. If I'm becoming just one reason for that particular change wherein our country can move ahead, why not? And definitely you will be very happy. So objective is that if you become entrepreneur independently, you start your own startup, or if you want to get incubated through StartupLanes, most welcome. Why not? Right? And there are regional directors who are independently founders. They are doing things, and they are doing 2 to 3 startups. That is okay. That is why I said it is a part-time activity. You may or may not need 100% dedication. The core objective is we want to be very, very honest. We want to utilize your credibility, right? Else we must have done it ourselves. So So this is very clear. I don't want to hide anything from you. Why we are having this model? Because local and digital only coordinate and collaborate when there is cheating out of it. Cheating is out from this system. And I will not, hide anything. In fact, recently I got cheated by a company called Seraphic Infosystems, right? We gave them app development work of ourselves, StartupLanes app development work. They cheated us. They are Chandigarh based. I'm telling you the name, right? 4 of the youngsters, they showed me fake offices in Indonesia, everywhere. They took the money and they kept on fooling around. So we have been learning a lot, and we have created this escrow system so that now at least everybody is saved. We keep this money safe with us. We will not release that fund, so that they can, this cheating system is gone. And obviously there might be new challenges coming up, but as far as we have researched and we have been improving ourselves in last 4-5 years, I think now it is a very robust system which actually works.
Okay, just one last question to add. Can a person be both regional and a functional expert? Why I'm asking, because I myself am a technology person. I have been in technology for more than 20 years. So I know technology very well in and out.
Why not? And there is no special fee or something. I'll tell you what we are charging as a fee is gold membership fee, which is 12,500, which is for everyone. And this fee has all the benefits, right? I'll tell you just to name one benefit, Amazon AWS, which everybody requires, 4 lakh rupees value, $6,500 US dollar value, which itself is utilizable. You can sell it off to any other company, or you can keep it for yourself, whatever you want to do. 1 year membership is 12,500. We have created a bundle out of it because we need at least the regional director to be with us for 3 years. So 2 years you pay for the gold membership, you become regional director for 3 years, right? And this is a big enough time. There is no special fee, nothing, no royalty, nothing is from our side. We are ready to support you in every way. And in case you want to become a functional expert as well, why not, right? Why not? But obviously, this will depend entirely upon people if they are liking it or not. So it starts from a freemium model. Our social media is all yours. You start posting your videos. We will do necessary editing if required. And as it becomes more popular, automatically people will say, okay, we want to go for paid courses as well. Then why not? There is a startup called MSMEX, right? They have 3 or 4 people who are just training everybody. And they are making good amount of revenue. So if they can do, 3 or 4 people can do, I think we can have many more people as functional experts who can generate their corporate trainings, and not just corporate trainings, but other tips and tricks also. That gives you more popularity. We are open to take all your content directly to our YouTube channel, to our Instagram, to our Twitter, to our other social media, LinkedIn, right? And there are a couple of services in which which is very cheap, very cheap, right? I'll give you an example, very simple example. You take a digital signature. Generally, chartered accountants or people charge 1,500, 1,000 rupees for digital signatures. We were also paying that. Then we discovered direct source. We paid them good amount of money, became their distributor. Now we are able to offer this digital signature for 499 rupees. Right. Similarly, social media management. If you get your Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook managed, including graphics, including everything, managed by a company, they will charge you 20,000 rupees per month. We are doing this for 3,000 rupees per month. Right. Another example, we were doing video interviews, from hosting to the actor to editing, everything, sound editing, video editing, everything of a 20 minutes video, we were charging only 1,000 rupees. Right. So nobody else, because we have a very big team in the background. They are working, all the salary team, right? They are working night and day to improve the ecosystem. We are really a good player that can reduce the price and disrupt the market for anything. And that's exactly what we are doing. We need to acquire more and more customer by offering low price, so that later on we don't have to offer them 1 or 2 products. We have n number of products. So that is why we can offer them lower price, still in the volumes we can make hell lot of money. And most importantly, there is a monopoly in the funding area. You can count the organizations which raise funds, genuinely raise funds, that is the angel networks and all. There are less than 20 angel networks in India, and out of them only 50 to 60% will be active, not all, right? So we have 2 angel networks. That is kind of a monopoly, and there's a hell lot of scope. This is just started. This industry has just started. A lot of people will become investors, and till the time they invest, you will be getting a cut if you introduce an investor. A lot of things are there.
Understood. Thanks, Shishir. That answers my questions. That's it from me.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir, next we have Mr. Arunabha Dwari. So please come forward and ask your question.
Hi, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, actually, my question is related to that business model you are following through. You have explained a little bit, but I wanted to know a little bit more about your entire business, who is actually owning the entire business, and how it's being performed, and how it's ensured that everybody is getting that, that amount of reimbursement or whatever you say. So that entire business model I was about to listen from you.
The entire business is divided into 2 sections: delivery by in-house StartupLanes team and delivery by gold members, right? For some core like legal and chartered accountancy, we have our own law firm and chartered accountancy, because this is something which is every day. Then for media, we have our own media firm, SL Media, because again, this is something which we require night and day. Without the promotions, video promotions and social media is the in thing. Without that, you can't even think of flourishing. So that is another reason why we are becoming the fastest. Our growth is fueled by the social media and other media activities that we do, right? So these are the organizations which are in-house. Rest everything that comes to us is given to the gold members. In fact, the surplus work of legal, the surplus work of chartered accountancy is given to the gold members, and we are not active in terms of any actionable thing. Like if a lawyer has to appear in Bangalore, we will not be going there. We do it through our we do it through our gold members. They go there. So most of the business is getting outsourced. We, as a one entity, StartupLanes, utilize the brand for everybody, because people trust us more than any other person. Even if you want to do business with X doing business with Y, if do it through StartupLanes, if StartupLanes is accepting money, the trust level increases. And if that happens through a regional director who's local, more trustworthiness comes up, right? So that is how we are doing, and we are doing technically everything. One more part is there, which is the funding part. So that is in-house. We don't outsource any funding activity to anyone, because we don't see anybody better than us in terms of angel network. And every Saturday we have demo days wherein entrepreneurs join in, and these are exclusive demo days. That means one entrepreneur comes, and on the other hand, in the Zoom meeting there are 50, 60 or 70 investors, and after the pitching, if they like, they invest. This is a regular process which happens every time. Similarly, for the CXO department, we have not outsourced it. We cannot even think about outsourcing. So that department is actively functioning. Another department we have is awards and events department. So we recognize a lot of startups. Like recently, we have created a list of top 20 educational edtech companies, in which Beju is the number 1 in India. So what we do is we connect with them, we recognize them, and they promote us themselves, because we are recognizing. They promote StartupLanes as recognized, Beju's as number 1. So all these companies promote us, and we create relationships with them, and then we award them. So we invite everybody. Now in the pandemic it's not happening, but post the pandemic we'll be inviting everybody again, and we'll be awarding them. So this creates a lot of relationships. So these are some departments I told you. Besides that, we are starting a technology department in-house for app development and website development. So we want to reduce the cost of these developments. Besides that, we have incubation system wherein we are a different incubator. We create our in-house startups from people who are in different locations. We don't seek anybody's idea. We research the idea ourselves. We give them the entire plan, everything from our side, and we raise funds for them, and we just support through the mentorship. So recently we incubated one such startup which is similar to Go Mechanic. It is called Project Gantri, and this is for car cleaning, repairing, and servicing. Even just one part of it, like cleaning part, if I talk about, just 10,000 cars if you get from one project, one society in a high density area like Indrapuram, Ghaziabad, there are 10,000 cars, right? So 40 lakh revenue per month would be coming to that particular startup. So these startups, we have our equity there, and these equities will become 100 crore plus equities in next 5 years for us, even more than that, because we are incubating more than 100 such startups wherein we have a good amount of fair amount of equity. So these activities we keep on doing, and might have missed out one or two things, but yes, to be honest, we are doing lot of things together because we are an ecosystem. We have to do
How are you, Mr. Shishir?
Namaste, I'm very well. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure. Thank you. All right. So I'm calling in from the UAE. I'm presently in Dubai. So I just wanted to ask you, of course, the questions asked already have answered several of my queries. But my point is, how is the experience in terms of the UAE? Having gone through the website, I've seen there's already a couple of RDs appointed one in Dubai and one in Sharjah. So how's the experience been in terms of the traction here?
So actually what happens is, let me also share this. And in fact, you reminded me of a very good thing. What happens is, initially when we were taking regional directors, the structure was not very inclusive. So we were giving them a particular location, but they were limited to members only. That means they were only appointing members. That we were not allowing them to have different systems. So, before that, we had a funding director and an investment director as well, and a funding consultant. So we clubbed everything together. So initially they were only looking for members, which was not very successful, to be honest, because when you ask for a membership from a remote location like UAE, they will ask you, the first question they will ask you, how many members you have. we don't have many members from UAE, right? So that was becoming a chicken and egg problem, becoming very, very difficult. But now we have a different strategy. So now what we are looking from UAE side is we are looking from startups there to source from India. Just the cost benefits. Same goes for UK and US also. They want to give business to India, but they don't have the direct connections, and they feel cheated sometimes. And this has happened n number of times. So I have been talking to Royston, who's our regional director in London. I have been talking to Deepak ji, who's there in Canada. A lot of people, and they were saying, Shishir, this would be something which could become really, really successful if you provide them cost benefit, but obviously turnaround time has to be good. Good customer care should be there, no ghosting at all, because this is again a big problem of the industry. People start ghosting. They don't pick up the calls, then they switch off their phone numbers after taking money, and they don't care. Even after accepting 30% of the payment, you have done the work and then you stop taking calls. So this is really bad, and the other client feels very, very cheated, and then they don't want to give to anybody else in remote way. The cost benefit is huge. So to summarize, we don't have many members there, but yes, it started with a very positive and good note. We were doing a lot of events there. People were coming, but conversion of membership was a bit difficult that time, and we kept 1,000 dirhams as the membership fee that time. So we have to revisit and revise that structure. Now we have created 100% freemium model. Right? That was not there initially. 100% freemium means now we add every entrepreneur to our ecosystem in the WhatsApp groups without any fees. They become bronze members the time they enter into our WhatsApp group itself. We issue them ID cards, we issue them a proper thing, and the connect with the community manager so that they can start the interaction. And then later they can become a gold member whenever they need, whenever they see that there is a lead for them, or whenever they see that the events are happening and they should go to all those events, right? 3 events are free, 4th time we ask them to become a gold member, and these are online events now. That's about it.
Okay, thank you for that. So what I've learned from what you said is that it's more India centric in terms of the value add that these guys can get. I mean, any person who joins in as a member, let's say as an RD, it's to do with the India centric startups that
not at all
can be here as well, right?
Not at all. It is, we are completely global. Our focus is US. Majority of the app development business comes from US, right? So I will not at all say that we are India centric. Yes, our focus is developing India, generating jobs here, but we are not at all India centric. We are entirely global. Our focus is to interact with different ecosystem and become a bridge. If any company want to enter India, they should enter through StartupLanes. We will become their bridge. They can launch their business, and we have already forged such partnership. In fact, I missed out that section. We have partners like Amazon, we have partners like Google, we have partners like Microsoft. In India, we have partner like Make My Trip, and each partner is giving us something very special. We have partner like Bank of Mauritius, we have partners like MasterCard. Every partner is giving something different. For example, Make My Trip partnership just happened, and Make My Trip is giving us exclusive 1,000 rupees additional for every sign up to our members, right? So if anybody signs up through StartupLanes to Make My Trip, and they have created dedicated their entire promotion section for StartupLanes, and these kind of partnership we are forging every day, right? So they get this 1,000 rupees extra, then they get free meals for registering through us while they travel. So if you do it directly through Make My Trip, you get nothing extra. But here, if you go through StartupLanes, you get free meals. Besides that, they are providing VP level support. We asked for it. Another partner we have is called ClearCo. Earlier, previous name was ClearBank. They are the world's largest e-commerce investor, world's largest. Right? They are known for 20-minute term sheet. That means they can commit to any startup within 20 minutes because they have created an automated system. This is a Canada-based company. We are their exclusive partners, right? So we anybody who looking to raise funds in US, UK, we can put them across and still make money. Similarly, we have partnership with a company called First Base. This is for registering a company in US. It is not very big thing. $500 is all you spend, but still anybody who routes through us gets 5% discount and we get 15% for referring, right? So we have forged a lot of partnership and we are still in forging the partnerships with companies like Maruti. From Maruti to Audi, we need to tie up with all the automobile companies. Because of our ticket size, we have more members. Our subscriber base, you will be amazed to know and glad to know, our subscriber base of registered users is 50 lakh SMEs, right, who have subscribed for our emailers, newsletters. So this is a very huge base. As everybody knows, data is the new oil. They are not our members, they are not our members as of now. We don't call them, but they are bronze members. They are free layer members. We can convert them to gold member later on. And such kind of leads could be generated anytime. And we are already doing that. Plus, we have done a lot of billing. Like I'll tell you, we started 2-3 months ago, we started interviewing entrepreneurs, common entrepreneurs, not the special ones, not the people who are celebrities. We started interviewing them. And we have got more than 200 interviews already uploaded. 220 interviews have been uploaded of common entrepreneurs, not so big ones, at our YouTube channel. It's not small. We have generated more than 400 invoices in last 2-3 months just for this thing, just for video interview service, right? So you can imagine a lot of big things we are doing, and at a very, very small cost. Like every startup required, when you have a website, you require a payment policy, privacy policy, and GDPR compliance, California compliance. So we are charging only 1,000 rupees for writing all these policies. No other lawyer will do that. Why we are able to do that? Because we are doing that in masses. We can still register 50-60 customers every day and make a good money about that. So I think that was about it.
Yeah, that does answer my question. I have several more. So you talked about leads. You've been talking about leads. So would you guys be having leads for Dubai as well, as in the UAE centric as well, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, and so on?
We have a happening chapter there. We have a WhatsApp community there, and I may not say that we are generating leads as of now, but yes, a lot of leads come from that side as well. The first step should be to interact with the existing community and start everything, and understanding how we can help them out. What we are trying to do is we are thinking about what KPMG and EY does to big companies, the business counseling or business analyst part, analyzing small businesses and finding out where they are lacking in systems and processes. I have found in fact, every startup that I have interacted with, they lack in some kind of systems. Some say we don't have an offer letter for employees. Some say they don't have a CRM. Some say that they don't have an accounting software. And every such lacking is an opportunity for us. We can give them our CRM. We are tied up with different companies. We can source through different companies. We can give them insurance. You can think of anything we can give them, because it's for us, it is just floating the requirement. And a lot of people will come up that I want to offer, my services to that particular organization. So that's what we have to start one by one, start with the events. We'll be happy to share all the leads to the RDs there.
Okay, another question, because you said it's going to be a franchisee model. So obviously the people who are appointed as RDs and chapter directors and even, let's say, functional experts, they will get an email ID at startuplanes.com or whatever that is, or .in.
To be honest, we cannot give it to every chapter director, but to regional director, yes, who are active.
Fair enough. And
yes.
That's fine. Another question. Sorry, you're saying something?
Yeah, I was telling you the reason. Because too much mailing leads, hampers the entire organization. If we create too many email IDs, then our emails will start getting into spam.
Fair enough. And then another question is, if somebody wants to, let's say, have, let's say, because I'm obviously an Indian, right? So if I want to have a regional directorship in India as well, and also here in the UAE, whatever, one emirate or and so on. So is that possible? How does that work?
Definitely, we are not limiting you to get any source, any business. Suppose you start for UAE, right? And if your friend who's there in UK and he wants to become a regional director, so he would be routed through you, right? So not his earnings, because he's not a chapter director, but yes, whatever membership fee we receive, your cut is there. You cannot appoint chapter directors in any region beyond your region, but you can appoint regional directors. That means you don't get cut on the RD's earnings, but you get on their membership fee cut.
Yeah, that's fine. And additionally, if let's say I myself want to be an RD for two places, let's say one region in India and one region here in the UAE, is that possible also?
Yes, that is possible if you are able to actively participate in both the locations. Why not?
Fair enough. That's fine. I have another question is, so let's say this were to be the arrangement in terms of the UAE bit. Would you pay to the UAE account or would you pay to an India account?
Whatever suits you. But in case we are taking a membership from anybody in the UAE, that is a SWIFT transaction. That has to be into the Indian account.
So Indian.
We have not created any LLP in Dubai yet.
Okay, got it. That's fine. And what are the next steps from here on? Like whatever discussion we are having today with other prospective RDs. So what are the next steps to this now?
Next is to let our team know. Somebody must have invited. A lot of people are there in the community team. So the person who must have contacted you, let her know or him know that you are interested. Then they will request you to provide your LinkedIn URL, and we will just check whether this match is happening or not, and that's about it. Then they will give you a heads up. You can pay the fee and then we can start.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Pleasure.
Thank you so much, Mr. Amitesh. So next we have Mr. Anjan Brahma. So please come forward and ask your question.
Hey, good evening, Shishir. You've been patiently answering a lot of questions. So just before I start, I'll just give you one line about myself. I was a corporate turned trying to be an entrepreneur. Was a practice director at KPMG. You mentioned KPMG a while ago. Yeah. So essentially, my first question is in terms of the revenues for an RD. Later on, I have a couple of more on the startups funding. So first is when you mentioned these services, right, which are either in-house or outsourced, and which is what an RD or the network of chapter directors are expected to get. The thing is, there are a lot of options available, all over in terms of web development, accountancy, CAs, app development, and so on and so forth. The question is, and these are all extremely competitively priced. So the question is, even if there is a markup, the question is, when you sell, no one will want to buy it at a higher price than what is available, right? So one, obviously, we have been saying that, reiterating, is that there is a guarantee issue. But barring that, and how startups are, because I myself started a couple of them. So it is always a cost that supersedes any other consideration. Right. So what is your say on this?
See, there are a couple of services which nobody else can match us, like pitch deck, valuation, projections, right? So anybody who's looking to raise funds would be looking for these documents necessarily. And if you talk about international pricing, that is very high, from $5,000 to $20,000 they charge for these documents. In India, this is anywhere between 15,000 rupees to 3.5 lakh rupees. But the 15,000 one is just junk. They don't even understand. They just copy paste. a template, and they don't know how to do valuations and all. This is a niche industry which is not really controlled by anybody. And there were 9 methods of valuation. I created the 10th one called fair share method of valuation. I have already written the book. It will be published, and I have to publish international papers for it. Then it will become a proprietary method by Shishir Gupta, and that is the very recent one. And we have done more than 500 valuations on that, more than 500 on the same method already, and everybody is happy, right? So these are proprietary to us. These have to be coming to us. Now, if you talk about other services where hyper competition is there, we have reduced the pricing so low that nobody can even match. Like I told you, for privacy policy and all that, for company registration, we are just charging 12,500 for 2 directors, 1 lakh rupees capital. We have reduced the price of technically everything, wherein we see that competition is there. Media, video editing. What do you think? If you get any ad or any video edited, they will charge you per second, right? Like I told you, we have been doing this for 1,000 rupees for 20 minutes video. Nobody can even match it, right? Because we are doing below the cost. We have raised funds just like other startups. We are also disrupting through price. This is called low end disruption. So we are utilizing our funding. Yes, we are into losses, extreme losses, and we are happy about it. We are okay about it because we understand that we just have to capture the market. Data is the new oil, and so far we have been able to capture 50 lakh subscriber, which is not less, in last 5-6 years. So I don't see any kind of challenges due to competition, especially where we are offering too many. If you get a departmental store, if you get everything in one store, why would you go to different stores? You will prefer going there in one particular store, getting everything. Plus, when you have somebody helping you out in and out in the business with funding, with sales lead, everything, then automatically you will prefer approaching them instead of any chartered accountant or a lawyer who is just into one particular thing, right? We are actually the specialist. So that is helping us, and thank God, thanks to our social media presence, this is giving us a very, very high push. If you see, I started writing on Quora in 2015. I became top writer. 2016, I was the top writer. Then my account got banned through by Quora. Then I started another account, and then also I have more than 1.5 million views there. At LinkedIn, I have 106,000 followers. Right. So
yeah,
I'm not saying. Sorry.
I am one of them. Yeah.
So
yeah, but sorry, I'm interrupting. The only thing is, in terms of the revenue model that was shared, right? So there is a 5 lakh for vendor sourcing per month, right? And that is 5 units, which means 1 lakh per vendor is what is a targeted revenue for SL. Now, my question was essentially on that front. How is that possible?
How is that possible? If getting 5 orders of app development, say from 5 clients, is not a big deal in a month. If you are connecting with say incubation centers, if you are connecting with co-working spaces, or if you are getting good references, every entrepreneur has references. If they are happy, if they are satisfied, if they are engaged and connected, they definitely get.
Yeah, but a bulk of the revenue in that model is basically from these services, right? Accountancy or registrations, GST package, vendor sourcing, and so on and so forth, right? So my essentially, I mean, to cut it short, my whole question essentially is that a realistic thing? That's all I'm asking.
That's pretty realistic. Because
on a month-on-month basis, 1 month is fine, but on a month-on-month basis, unless there is you did mention leads and support, but on your own or as an individual, I find that.
I'll tell you how this happens. Anybody looking for funding, and if you say you have to go get these documents, they don't really ask you a lot of questions. And if you tell them that you need to get this app developed, or if they know that you get this done, you will always have better leverage and more influencing because you are raising funds. I'm telling you, and it's technically not raising fund in our industry. We say we are the investors, right? because any startup that is coming to us, it is our decision whether to accept or reject. If we are accepting one startup, automatically, it's just like, you must have seen every company that goes to the IPO level gets some amount of funding, right? Never it has happened, zero funding has never happened. So that's exactly what we are doing. We are creating a pool of investors, and that gives us extra edge over others, right? Those are just accountants or lawyers or app developers, but we are the people who will give them money, right? So they need to make relationships better with us, and that is what they do. If they understand, definitely they will, and that is a multiplier effect. The ripple effect happens. Even founders refer a lot of investors to us, and founders become investors sometimes. In fact, not sometimes, most of the times. Especially the founders who have raised funds in the past, taken an exit, they become necessarily the investors. So that's good for us. No? This ecosystem is based upon references, and we are at the right time, right stage. India is rapidly growing in terms of startup ecosystem. Shark Tank is coming to India. Lot of other things are happening simultaneously. People are taking it serious. If you talk about 2015, nobody was knowing what is a startup in India. Nobody. Even I was not knowing what is startup. I was doing a lot of companies. I was technically doing a startup, but I was not knowing that it is called startup. And in from 15 to 2021, lot of things have changed. And you will see now everybody knows what is a startup. Everybody knows what is funding. That time nobody was doing.
So that leads me to the next question. So at what stage of startups do we fund?
We are early stage investors. So our ticket size is typically from 25 lakhs to 3.5 crores. And then we can take them into the investment banking services, wherein we can raise funds for them from VCs.
But this has to be a demonstrable and in practice model, not a concept.
Definitely, yes. If you talk about last 3 weeks, every Saturday we do a demo day. If you talk about last 3 weeks, we have raised fund for 3 companies. Every week we have raised fund for the startups, and we have been doing this constantly.
Yeah, no. My question was essentially because that's typically how startups are funded. But then there are a lot of concepts, obviously, which die because of lack of funds.
Yeah, no, we don't. We don't take the concepts. The minimum criteria is 10,000 rupees per month revenue or equivalent in INR. If you are startup from abroad, then also you need to have at least 10,000 rupees INR equivalent revenue.
Okay.
Sure. We need to protect the investors also. We don't take concept-based startups as of now.
Okay. And you also, so this is my last question before anything else, or probably I'll have subsequent ones later. But my last one for now is, you mentioned subcontracting for a lot of large corporates. How do we take that into this role play?
So as a regional director, you can also connect with those CXOs. Like I told you, on the behalf of SL Media, you can invite them for an interview session, right? And that is how the first step happens. Everybody knows the managing director of companies. Nobody, like if I ask you who's the CFO of Adani Enterprises, if I ask you who's the CFO of Reliance, you might not be knowing, because besides managing directors and CEOs, other people in the top level, they are not very well known. So we invite them, we popularize them, we give them a platform, we give them equal opportunity to tell their story to the world. And that is how we create a relationship. And once the relationship is there, then we keep on inviting them to a lot of conclaves. We keep on inviting them to live session of question and answers. People reaching at heights, they have this, excitement of interacting with others, telling their story, and we hit there. So
yeah, we SL, so I understand how SL does it. That's what you explained. But my question was from an RD point of view.
So when you become a part of SL, obviously, you can do the same thing. You can connect with the CXO, invite them and take the lead. You interview them on on SL's behalf, and we will upload that. There are a couple of videos. Recently, we uploaded the video of CMO of Praj Industries. Praj Industries is a listed company, number 2 company in the world for their particular segment. So that video is done by a community manager. It could be done by you, right? you can ask them question and you can create such kind of relationships and you can handle that relationship better. So automatically that any business that comes into the mind of that particular CMO, they could consider us, right? These companies can consider us and ask us, whether you can provide that particular, and obviously they outsource a lot. So, and in case you are local, we can discuss about other things with them, and that's how this works.
Okay. Sure. Thanks, Shishir. That's from me for now.
Okay, so next we have Mr. Prasenjit Chakrabarti. So please come forward and ask your question. Thank you.
I think he's not available.
Okay,
Mr. Sanjay Sahu was next, so we can probably take him.
Mr. Sanjay Sahu, please come forward. You can ask question from sir.
Good evening, sir.
Achha, so you are the regional director already appointed. Yes, boss.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely.
So yes, you recently joined from Bhopal, correct?
Yeah, sir. My question was, there was a description regarding the orientation week, orientation days. I think there are 2-3 days for orientation that will actually help us connect the dots basically. So right now the thing is that, sir, I'm having a lot of information, right? So whatever interaction we have had at Indore and post that, so I am understanding that a lot of activity has to be done. But as it is said that one should not approach anything unprepared. So like you told me that I have to start doing meetings here and all. But before that, I wanted to equip myself with all the basic knowledge and our banquet of services that we'll be offering. So please let me know how to go about it and what should be the further steps.
Yeah, so definitely, after this session, there will be a couple of people, others who will be joining as regional directors. So let's take it together.
Fine, sir. Fine.
And obviously, you are there in group. You can help others if they want to interact and understand from you how it is and why did you join. All those, please help them out.
Sure, I will, sir. I will. And I once this orientation thing is done and I'm ready, then I will be I'll start doing meetings and then we can take it further.
Definitely. In fact, we have around 100 leads of these functional experts. In case you want to start from there and you want to take leads from our CRM, most welcome.
Sure, sir. I'll connect with Kajal ma'am regarding this. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so I think we have 2 more questions, and I have another call in fact it was at 8 p.m. I have messaged that guy that I'll be at 8:25. So let's try to finish now.
Okay, so next we have Mr. Srirang Siriskar. Sir, please come forward and ask your question.
I think he's not.
Hi, Shishir. Very interesting session, and really admire the vision and the kind of scale that you're working on. My question was that you mentioned that it might happen that 2 or more regional directors are approaching the same lead. I mean, you mentioned that it might be shared and all, but it creates probably a wrong impression that if multiple people are approaching the same person. So how do we take care of that? Is there any way that if I'm approaching some person, the CRM can protect me by if I put that person's name that nobody else should contact that person? How does
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. We have our CRM. If you want to, put that into the CRM, why not? Then automatically that will protect everything. And
not for the protection, but I'm saying more like, because I've seen in certain companies, the leads, like if there are multiple distributors in same region, then if you're approaching particular client, you register, then nobody else can approach that. That is how it works. I'm looking at more from a prospective.
I'll tell you actually what happens is there are 2 ways wherein customer approaches us. Either all the incoming leads that are coming through our social media campaigns, paid promotions and all, or we outreaching through a channel. That channel could be co-working space, or it could be college, or it could be incubator, accelerator, anything. The best part of our industry is that it is organized. We can find out where these entrepreneurs are, or through an association, some kind of MSME association, chapters are there different, or maybe other networks wherein business networks are there, somebody can introduce. So that moment, it will be only one person, because one guy will not approach. If one incubation center has already been approached by somebody, automatically another RD will not approach that particular incubation center, right? Okay. Because one community managers are there for one city, same community managers are there. So obviously they are coordinating, right? And you can utilize their help in terms of calling, or if you have to, take support in anything. Our community managers will definitely be happy to support on that part.
Okay, great. Shishir, second question is on, as somebody asked already, the next steps. Are we looking at, like, for the current, the people who are connected on this call, are we looking at specific timelines on onboarding, or those who are interested, and when they're supposed to take charge?
Yeah, actually, after the pandemic, this is the first time again we have announced that we are accepting regional directors. So this is the phase one. This is the very first meeting that we are doing right now. But to be honest, there are more than 300 applications that we have already received today itself. So there is a mass campaign going on to all our 50 lakh subscribers who have been in touch with us in last 5-6 years. So I am expecting not less than 2,000 more such leads to be generated in the system in next 3 months. So we'll be having such kind of similar sessions so that we can solve the queries. For this particular regional directorship opportunity, we will be having 1 week timeline, so that people who are planning, they can convert or they can just ignore. Nobody should be hanging, and even our team will be free. It will be out of their mind as well. So most probably till the next Saturday we can take it, and that is enough time, I guess.
Okay, thank you, Shishir.
All right, so do we have?
Yes, sir, we have one more person. Actually, we have 3, but let's see who gets. So, Mr. Tushar Bhatia, if you want, you can come up and ask your question.
Yeah, hi. I just wanted to say that I am working in a company, so dual employment having for me would be very difficult, but still I could consider. I've gone through this webinar, so I want to say thank you as well, nothing else. Thank you.
So nice of you. Thank you so much. Okay, then we can take one last question, and I'm so sorry, I would love to take all the question on and on, but there is a hard stop. Somebody has taken time and I have already asked him to shift. So one more question and that's it.
Mr. Sanjeev Ahuja, you can come forward and ask your question.
Hi Shishir, this is Sanjeev from Sydney, Australia.
Hi.
First of all, I would appreciate your initiative and the way forward you are going. And I can see there are lots of people who have attended this place. A lot of people have asked a lot of questions. A lot of things have already been cleared. Let me also put forward a couple of things which are in my mind. To start with, let's say the regional directors, should I consider them as a commission-based employees?
Not employees, regional director.
Yeah, the word, not the employees, but is it like the commission-based people who are growing StartupLanes?
Yeah, that's exactly the same. But regional director is kept above our community managers. So entire team, regional director has in the hierarchy, they are the topmost. So entire team will be in the vertical. If you want to look at it, it is next to the CEO. Then there is no other vertical. So the level is really high, the topmost level through which. But yes, this is a franchisee level position, and this does not have any foundations upon our RD, or this does not have any hard requirements, or it does not have hard targets or something. We expect a minimum level of some revenues flowing in through an RD, because it is extremely important to stay active and expand the network. But yes, there is no hard and fast rule that they have to constantly work night and day and something like that, because that is why we are having multiple. To be honest, we don't want to get stuck with one RD in one city and then doing nothing. And obviously, people were also complaining. They were getting leads from other places. They were saying why we are not allowed, why this is happening. This is not physical.
Pranav?
No, because that people thinks different way. I never had a problem of having competition in the same place itself. So it's actually good to have couple of peoples in the same city. By that way, you go and meet those people, track their minds. You talk to them each other. It's not a competition, but it's more of a working together.
Right.
The second question was just like when you say the services, what StartupLanes could provide. It could be a website. It could be app development or anything. It will be routed through StartupLanes when you say. So is it the revenue or the turnover is going through the StartupLanes?
Correct. That's right.
Okay. So that brings more compliance and more responsibility on StartupLanes, and which also means that StartupLanes becomes a highly turnover company, which could be a big into the future, and that's what we also want to. What benefit can we expect from that?
The most important benefit you can expect is that you get an opportunity to hold the equity of StartupLanes. We before our next round of funding, to be honest, we were not needing funding. I have invested my money into this, but because people were asking me, Shishir, how much you have raised? When you do talk about funding of others, have you raised funds? So without requiring, we raised 2 rounds FDI from Singapore, and that's about it. But that is not much amount. We will be raising next round of funding, and most probably you get an opportunity to invest at the same amount of valuation before the other investors invest. So this is, and every investment round we can give you the opportunity. That is something which is the best benefit. And along with the regional director position, as the company grows, you got my point exactly. The vision is to become big through revenue. If the revenues increase, then definitely we can increase our valuations on the basis of the turnover, and big ticket money can come in as funding part, or we can hit the stock market and we can go global in a very, very big way on the basis of those revenues. We want to become the super entity for those companies, which makes the entire thing different. Yes, compliance work increases, but we are increasing the team. If you see, we are hiring every day in past last 2-3 years. It has not been even a day wherein we have not been hiring, because we are growing rapidly. So we are increasing our capacities. Compliances is not a big challenge if we keep on hiring right kind of people in the team, and automatically we'll look after that.
So when are you expecting that raising fund, and what valuation are you thinking as of today?
That is something I think we should discuss one-on-one. Not right now,
no issues. All good. Yeah.
But
see,
we have been...
I actually I also come from the finance background. I'm a chartered from India and CPA from here. So my everything starts from the figures, and into operations from last 15-20 years. I run a couple of small SMEs business here now. So that's what I wanted to understand. Now the third question was, when we say that we bring some customers or whatever, we introduce someone, we give them a service, whatever service, let's say start with the website development, and then there are lots of opportunities to give them the others. So who take control of that? Is like your team goes and talk to them that, do you need this, do you need that? Or is it we sell them from our store that these services we are having, and then the regional director sells those services?
See, anybody coming into your connect, like I was telling you, through an interview process of, it's like a business coach or analytics or business analyst, whatever you want to call. While you are interviewing a founder and finding out the gaps, finding out where we can help you, that moment automatically you will be getting all those opportunities directly. If you find out that this guy does not have a CRM, so we can push the CRM there. If you find out that this guy does not have an app or digital marketing services, or even I've seen a lot of companies not having social media. So that is direct opportunity, but anything coming through the lead process, the sales funnel of StartupLanes, obviously that goes directly to our community managers, and our community managers can further forward it to their regional directors because it is in their own favor. Like their work will be reduced, but their incentives are same. So it's in their own favor, and that is why we created this structure. By the way, I'll connect you with somebody called Jay Singh. He's from Government of Victoria. We got offers in the past for doing something together for with this Government of Victoria, Melbourne.
For sure, let me know. I can go and talk to them. Yeah. So we have, when you say we have lots of services to provide, and it's not necessarily to go and sell only to the people who wants to come on the board, but then we can also go and sell out our own services to the mass people. Like say when you say social media, when you say it's 3,000 rupees, which is very good price. Even we can mark up something and start selling into the market like a separate brand, but not to only the people who wants to come on the board. Is that on the line?
No, we will not be able to have a white label solution because the social media management is costing us 20,000. The video editing that I told you is costing us 15,000 rupees. We are doing it from our own funding. So the objective is to get the customer directly attached to StartupLanes. We can't do this white label solution. Like we are technically spending our money to acquire customer and discounting them. We are offering deep discounting. And that is how we expect more business to come in. But later on, obviously, when the valuations go high, we can cover up everything. So now,
that was an example for the website development or the social media. But let's say when we talked about the app development, which could range from whatever 15,000 to 2 lakhs rupees, but that's a normal market price. And then if you have a team, if we have a store or we have a people who can do that, we can go and directly start selling that into the market, but not only to the people who are coming on the board. So how does that work? How does that work? It goes into the StartupLanes or how can we market that?
Right. So in case, you need to have a price over and above, then you need to let the community manager know about it. Right. And then we have to generate a quotation with the increased markup fee, keeping your margins, which are higher, separate. But again, there will be a cap limit over it. We cannot sell a solution which we are selling for 2 lakhs for 3 lakhs. It could be 2,50,000 maximum. I'll tell you the reason, because later on the customer comes back to us and they write a comment that I feel cheated. You sold the same.
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah. We can do up to a normal cap limit. We can go.
Yeah, all good. That's all my questions. Thanks, Shishir. I'll be in touch with you.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone. I would love to. Yeah. Anything else is left out?
So Sanjeev Ahuja, do you have any follow-up question?
No, I'm good. Thank you for that.
All right. So thank you for joining in. Namaskar. This is Shishir Gupta signing out. Jai Bharat, Jai Hind, and see you again very soon.